lost my mind.
To make a record, I did consider court will adjudicate the defendant guilty. Here's Florida State Prison, and that'll run.
Since the unspeakable and terrifying death of my wife and daughter, I've suffered horrifically every moment. It is nearly impossible to put into words the agony of this legal process and the decay of my life during this time. Profound damage and trauma caused by their death has increased exponentially every day that these men are not in prison. We have suffered through birthdays, holidays, and anniversaries. I have not had the privilege to enjoy these precious moments with my family.
Impact plays over and over in his head. It'll never go away.
How could he do something so stupid? He's a bright kid. It is because the stop and think part of the brain, the frontal lobe, where we stop and think about our action, is not developed.
It took me a little bit longer than anticipated, but there was a lot of information to consider. There was intent to drive at an egregious speed, 102 miles an hour, regardless of the consequences and regardless of who that ended up harming. Sentencing Mr. Herron as a youthful offender, I didn't think sentencing him as a youthful offender was appropriate. I agree that youthful offender was something that the court could have done. I did consider it. I carefully considered it. And in this case, it's just impossible to have greater harm than the harm that occurred in this case, which was the loss of a mother, loss of a baby, and really the loss of a family as it existed when this occurred. So on count one, vehicular homicide, the court's going to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 9 years in the Florida State Prison. On count two, same charge. Court will adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 15 years Florida State Prison, and that'll run consecutive to count one for a total 24 years Florida State Prison.